What up, what up, what up, New Gaming Order? This is Alex Lexus and Lyoko Lion, aka Nirvana Sparkle of NewGamingOrder.com podcast. And we're hitting you with the head crush and the pimp smack for the post WrestleMania 32 results and reactions. So, pretty much I'm going to be depending on Lyoko Lion to kind of steer this thing. But it's just we're just doing a tag team match, a proper tag team match on this thing. But with that, if anybody participates in the chat, you'll see it on the right hand side of the window. So we'll be able to answer your questions live and whatnot. But before we get started, Lyoko Lion, opening remarks, man.
Great WrestleMania. Emphasis on wrestling. There was a lot of pure wrestling matches tonight. Few
hmm
of them ran short, but considering the short-handed staff, they did an excellent job, and Dallas, Texas showed up big.
I will say that.
101,763.
63. Yes, wow, that was something. And I would also say a lot of surprises popped up at this WrestleMania that which to
Yeah.
me, with the lineup, I thought it was gonna be a bit stale, but they delivered in some ways that I didn't think that they would. So a good shout out to WWE for that. And I believe who joined us? Nelson, is that you?
Mm, Yeah,
Nelson, what's up, man?
what's
Yes,
up?
we're doing intros. So yeah, if you wanted to do a quick introduction, yeah, we could get started. Your timing was perfect.
What's up, guys? I just got off the phone with my girlfriend, so hopefully we can talk about what happened at WrestleMania. There's a lot of likes and dislikes. Hopefully, you guys are pleased with the results or not pleased. You let us know.
Alrighty, alrighty. So there were a couple of pieces of the pay per view I missed due to me trying to get back from military duty. I was driving about 3 hours trying to get through traffic out of Queens. So we're gonna start off with the WrestleMania kickoff show. So Nelson and Lyoko Lion, what went down on the kickoff show? Good, bad, or ugly?
Well, we had three matches in the kickoff show because it was unnormally long. They decided to go 2 hours this year with the kickoff show.
Two
First up,
hours?
yeah, they decided to go 2 hours with it.
Wow.
And the first thing they did,
Wow.
I, I believe it was the Callisto Ryback match. Callisto with the win. Of
Mhm.
course, Ryback did his thing and Callisto did his thing. And it was because of an exposed turnbuckle that gave Callisto the opportunity to retain his
Mhm.
United States Championship. Now, I like the fact that Callisto won. I just think Ryback, really? You couldn't get a better opponent for that? I
That.
it was it was okay. I guess, and great
Mhm.
that they got that on the way first. I mean, I would say C minus match,
Yeah.
perfect for kickoff. Uh, so
But
let's
still,
see.
like that doesn't make sense to me. That like it's just not believable. Kalisto beating Ryback. You know what I mean? It's just what the hell. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Nelson, what are your thoughts on that match?
Well, I just thought the match could have went a lot better. It could have been a different opponent for Kalisto to fight because you have a supposed David versus Goliath kind of momentum thing.
Mhm.
And again, Ryback did his normal routine and Kalisto did his normal routine. And they let Kalisto retain the title because he has more relevance than Ryback does right now. Ryback is just, oh, I'm going to come, beat you up, and go out.
Mhm.
So they're trying to build up though to be like the new U.S. champion. So hopefully introduce the cruiserweight division, which they are implementing in I think like another month or so on the network.
Okay. Now,
That's
is
like
that gonna be like an NXT thing?
no, it's gonna be its own original program. It's gonna be, featured from NXT because eventually they're gonna use those wrestlers, but
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna have their own show until they pick like, whoever they want out of that.
Okay. Okay. Now,
Next
with that, what was the next match on the pre-show?
next match on the pre-show was the 10 Diva tag team match between Team Bad and Blonde against Team Total Divas. Team Total Divas picking up the win here. This is an important match because this marks the final Divas match. Because after this match, the term Diva and the championship were executed.
Now, here's the thing. I thought that the triple threat match would be deemed as the finals Divas match, and then at the conclusion of that, the new women's champ was what I mean?
Uh, During the kickoff show, Lita presented the new WWE Women's Championship,
Which
where
it looks
a
awesome, by the way. That looks freaking. I was very happy to see how they did the redesign because it looks like the world title, but like white, and it kind of has like a intercontinental title
yeah,
feel to it. Matter of fact, let me pull up that image now for the viewers to see.
it looks really good.
Uh huh.
And I am really happy that they're getting rid of the term diva. I'm glad the championship looks the way it does. It just speaks equality.
I
That
agree.
the women are finally on equal footing
Yeah,
and they have a championship that looks like it.
it looks the part. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Nelson, what are your thoughts on the
I
um?
mean,
The look of the title looks great, man. I think they did a good job with that this time around.
yeah, I mean, it's technically the exact same title as what the guys have. It's just in a white and red with a
Mhm.
little bit more encrusted diamond on the WWE logo. The match was just like a statement match to let the people know, the general audience know that the Divas Revolution is going in full effect as of today, because the term diva was somewhat of a degrading thing to both the wrestlers and the viewers. So they wanted to strip that apart
Mhm.
and make it so that you're recognized as a woman, as a female competitor, not a diva, which was something
Yeah.
that WWE thought they could copyright and use the term loosely as they want. But the match was okay. I just didn't expect Brie to be the person to make the whoever she may tap out. I don't remember who
Uh,
exactly.
that that would be I believe it was Tamina.
Tamina,
You got
okay.
into that?
That's
I wasn't really watching because I was like,
yeah, because some of the matches, like honestly, if they've been in the past WrestleMania lineup matches or cards that it's just like damn everything was great, but I think that only like three matches were really standing out for me was the Brock versus Dean Ambrose, Taker versus Shane, and Triple H versus Roman, but that's like going forward. But I'm
mm.
just trying to stay in order. But what else did we have that stood out in the kickoff show?
And the Usos and the Dudleys were the final matchup with the Usos picking up the victory and then doing frog splashes in stereo through tables. So it looks like that rivalry is over now.
Oh yeah, because I think that the Dudleys they're not utilizing them properly. I just swear it's like nails on a chalkboard when you see the caliber of talent that they have, and they're just like that's how you're gonna use the Dudleys. That's what they came back for. Like really, let me pull the image up while we discuss that. Nelson, what are your thoughts on that match?
My thoughts on the match was basically The Usos and the Dudley Boys, there was like a little feuding that was happening for some time, and it seemed like they needed to get that match out of the system.
Hmm.
With Usos winning, it kind of like made a statement to the Dudleys, like, okay, you could be the 9-time or 10-time World Tag Team Champions. That's all fine and dandy, but we're here. We're the new generation. You got to respect us too. So they want to put that statement on the map, and they definitely did because near the end, closing of the match, the Dudleys went through a table, the both of them.
Yeah, and remember how they were teasing the return of the Dudleys and this and that, and now they're here. Look at what. I just they're underutilized. Like put titles on them. You know what I mean? Like make them heel champions. I think that's where they can best shine and thrive. And if you have a new tag team off them, it'll have more of an impact. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's kind of hard to make anyone a tag team right now because WWE is going on the thriving success of the New Day. Like they
Yep.
want that train to keep going as long as fucking possible.
I think they're gonna hurt the tag team division. Everything that Triple H has done to restore the credibility of the tag team division, the way that the New Day is configured, with three people sharing a tag team, that's wrong. That's wrong. I hate it. They're entertaining, fine, but they don't need the straps to do it. You know,
Not a
I
fan of the free bird rule, I guess.
no. That's stupid. Like I'm traditional when it comes to that, and I just but I know that the next match is the first one on the card, which is the New Day versus League of Nations. Um,
No,
Actually,
that's not the
no, they
first
went with
match.
a ladder match first.
oh, you know what?
Intercontinental Championship.
Hmm.
Okay. Matter of fact, can you shed your thoughts on the ladder match while I pull up the image for it?
The ladder match was an excellent starting matchup. I mean, everybody had their spots, everybody had their moments. You know,
Hmm.
Cody Rhodes had his polka dotted ladder in reference to his dad, which was a cute little reference. You
Yeah.
had you had everything going pretty great
Okay.
until you get to the end. Zack Ryder
Don't be mad. Don't be mad.
when
Woo woo
when
woo
Sami Zayn had a match for the ages on Friday night. Had one of the best matches I have ever seen in a debut of a superstar. Sami Zayn putting over Nakamura, and you don't give him the Intercontinental title? You give it to Zack Ryder instead?
woo 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 woo.
I mean, I like Zack Ryder, but a Sami Zayn win would have catapulted him to the stratosphere. The
Now,
fans
here's
would
the
have been
thing with that.
all for Sami Zayn.
I believe that Zack Ryder got the title because of so many people on the roster injured. You got Cesaro out, Tyson Kidd out. You got who else? Who else is out due to injury? I mean, there's just some key people that I know for a fact by the fact that they're not there. That's why he has the opportunity to move up.
I mean,
But
I'm not saying that Zack Ryder won't be a bad champion. I'm not saying it won't be entertaining. He deserves it. He's been a grinder. But at the same time, Sami Zayn coming off of that match back on Friday was
Hmm.
completely over. And it looks like you're gonna have Sami Zayn leave NXT, and now you're making it seem like he's leaving NXT for absolutely nothing when the door was open to catapult him on a rocket ship if you
Hmm.
give him the IC championship.
Now, here's the thing. How long do you think Zack Ryder will have the title?
Probably 2 months. Probably 2 months.
Okay. Okay.
It will not be like long. By the time we get to, I'd say, Money in the Bank, he'll probably lose it.
Okay. All right, Nelson.
Probably to,
Yeah, let's get Nelson's thoughts on Zack Ryder winning the IC belt. What are your thoughts?
I just think that Zack Ryder only got the belt because again there is rumor that he may be retiring. So they wanted to give him like a
Retiring.
yeah. Because if you haven't noticed, he's been in the WWE for a very long time. Like
Yeah.
he only won that one title, which was well yesterday, but he
Uh-huh.
only won that one title throughout his entire career. He self-proclaimed himself
The
to be the
internet
internet
champion,
champion.
and he lost his belt. Well, didn't he lose that fake belt or whatever?
Yeah, he did.
No, he retired it, and he's been a U.S. and tag team champion before.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Uh,
so this would be his second solo, not his first.
but not only that, the titles such with such prestige as the IC belt. I mean, if he's gonna go out, he needs to really like wear that strap properly. Pause.
Yeah,
No pun intended.
but
But go
it's
ahead.
hard for someone like Zack Ryder to start, taking that responsibility because he's basically been known as a jobber.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't really done anything unless if you want to talk about like his NXT career. In his NXT career, he's actually pretty decent of a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
But in the main roster lineup, he wasn't really not much of a threat.
I blame the writers. I blame the writers.
Well, just like as what Mike said last night, though, despite that, a lot of people, writers, they still do their committed job to try to make everyone happy, despite the hate that they get.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a story for another fucking time. But the match overall itself, like everyone else, including Sami Zayn, you had Kevin Owens, you had Sin Cara, you had Stardust, The Miz. You had a lot of good talent there, and something that you would have never expected to happen in that match. And I was just shocked the whole match. The shit that they was going, the stops that they was pulling,
Mm-hmm.
the heart beating moments where you thought this person was gonna win it, and then it was just stolen from this person, or
Mm-hmm.
this person. It was phenomenal. I would say that was one of the best matches out of the main card of the pay per view.
Mm-hmm. So you say it had good pacing, good spots,
Yes.
high points throughout the match.
hmm
Okay. Do you agree with that, Leoko Lion?
Yeah, good match overall. I just think they dropped the ball on the ending.
Mm.
They
Mm.
missed out
Yeah, the
on
ending
making a
was.
star in exchange of gifting a star when you could have made
Mm.
one,
Okay.
and you need to make one.
Okay. I agree. I agree. All right. So now that was the last match of the kickoff show, correct?
No, that was the
No, that was the
first.
first main match of the
Uh,
night.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. So now the next
after
one is the
that
new
was
day.
after that was the New Day.
Okay, got it. So because I was missing some images.
I thought it was AJ Styles versus Jericho.
Yes,
Oh
that
yeah,
yes.
that was next.
Yeah, because my notes are all over the place because that was a
Yeah, that
long ass pay per view. Holy fuck.
AJ Styles and Jericho 4.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yep.
All right,
that
so matter of fact, let's let Nelson lead in on it, and then you, Leo Lion. All right, go ahead.
Basically, that match we already seen it. As what Lyoko Lion said, this is the fourth match that these guys had.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a lot of people was going in thinking that AJ Styles was going to thing and he was going to beat Jericho, but the winner of that match, Jericho, he had the upper hand in that match, which makes it seem like the rivalry will still continue,
Yeah.
despite it being, hopefully their last
Yeah.
WrestleMania, making it the end. I feel that something more is going to come out of it, whether if they're going to give each other's matches or whatever the case may be. But again, Jericho still has it due to the fact that he is getting older. He can still wrestle at his fullest peak. AJ Styles was pulling out a lot of stops that he normally wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
And he was keeping up the momentum, but again, my personal opinion, I wish he won, but he did
I
not.
I agree with you. The highlights that I saw in that match, I would say a good pacing. Very a lot of code breaker countering of AJ's high flying, that he's known for. And I mean, I don't think either one had any like down moments in the match. I think that they had good chemistry in the ring, and
Yeah.
I like that high flying stuff, man. I just wish AJ Styles in past matches within WWE was doing like that. It's like you said, he was pulling out more stops, but I want him to do more of that Ring of Honor type, super kicking like with the Young Bucks type stuff, and bring that into WWE. You
It
know.
will be hard unless if there's a new change of pace, as with Shane wanted to bring the Envision
Mhm.
for. And again, it's for some wrestlers to come in that style of wrestling,
Mhm.
when they was used to another style, it's kind of hard to make that weird transition.
Yeah, because I feel this is a watered down version of AJ Styles that we're getting, and the
Yes.
expectation is that we want that Ring of Honor version, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, I think that the match was great, very technical, very high flying. It had a good balance of good grappling, chain wrestling, awesome. The stuff that get you like it was a good back and forth with Jericho gaining the win, and all those code breaker counters that he was doing to the high flying was pretty damn cool. But I like the match. I think it was one of the better ones of the night. And with that, I'm gonna turn the floor to Lyoko Lion. Your thoughts?
We needed the Killer Instinct combo guy with as many combos that were being broken
Combo
in that
breaker.
match. I mean, technical wrestling expertise all throughout that match. And it's that kind of a match that makes me salivate on the inside because I love great technical wrestling. And these are two guys I like. So it was a pain in the ass to watch this match because somebody I like had to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just so happens that the guy that won the match is the guy I like the most. But
Mm-hmm.
I really think AJ Styles, I have to agree with the both of you, had to go over in this match. What does Chris Jericho gain by getting this match?
But
And
think
by
about it
winning?
too. Jericho has been jobbing to like I think who did he job to at WrestleMania?
Fandango 2 years ago?
Yeah, yeah, and look at where that went. I mean,
It, it's like, I'm glad that Jericho got the win, but what does the win mean?
it's just gonna prolong the feud.
I, I mean, I hope not, because this is 4 matches now. And thankfully, this is the best match of the 4, but I want to see it go 5, 6, 7. I
Hmm.
would rather see them tag team back up and beat the New Day.
Ah,
I would rather this be the end of the rivalry, the rebirth of that tag team, and them beat the New Day.
okay. Nelson, do you agree or disagree with that statement?
I mean, it is definitely possible that they can make that happen. I wouldn't mind seeing that because, again, they do have good in-ring chemistry with each other, despite the fact that not many people have seen Jericho fight AJ Styles outside of WWE.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
remember, Jericho is a world-renowned wrestler before he came in to
Hmm.
WWE. Same thing as AJ Styles, but. Again, we'll see what the future holds for these two. Again, it's up to the writers at the end of the fucking day. So
All right, all right.
we'll have to
Now
see.
moving on to the next match, we have, and I should be on the New Day now. So
Let's see.
Yeah.
yes,
Is
okay.
it? Is it? You sure it wasn't the Dean Ambrose versus Brock
No, no,
Lesnar
that was
New
that
Day?
was later on.
Okay, so
Yeah,
then.
I have it in order.
Okay,
It's such a
okay.
long ass pay per view. I had to put all these
Yeah.
matches like together. But the New Day versus the League of Nations. I will have to say I was a bit shocked by the conclusion. But before I continue, I want to give a shout out to I don't want to mess up Thurman Garcia, Shack Attack, Mr. King Piccolo. Shout out to those who are checking us out live on the chat. You guys can see yourself on the right hand side of the screen, and we'll answer whatever questions or respond to any of your comments as best we can. All right, so New Day versus League of Nations. I first thing, why did these New Day fools come out with Saiyan armor? Dragon Ball Z Saiyan armor like Vegeta in the Saiyan saga coming down to the ring, and Xavier Woods had his hair done up as like a Super Saiyan. Shinwar decides to call me. He's just like, I'm done, I'm done. Had me laughing. I had to see this for myself, and lo and behold, they did. Now, I see why Demizzle of Free Play Mode likes the New Day, because they have that comedic relief. But not on Champions, you know what I mean? I want to start seeing some serious stuff, you know. I mean, even Team Hell No, with the comedy that they were giving us, after a while they had to stop. You know what I mean? So overall, that match itself, there was a lot of when you know, slow spots. It was like a steady build up, but when everybody started ramping up in terms of, you had Sheamus in the ring, you had Del Rio in the ring, Rusev, and then it was just a bunch of commotion, like Power Stone 2. Like, you know, it was like, oh, somebody's getting hit with a bro kick, somebody's getting speared, you know. And Big E actually showed out tonight. You know, I think that I was actually rooting for the New Day today. You know what I mean? Because I just don't like the League of Nations. I think that's a team that just was Frankenstein together. I think the New Day had a lot more time to gel with one another over the years. So, but the thing is, the outcome, I'm surprised, because the New Day seems to overcome, and that wasn't the case tonight. So I'm giving Lyoko Lion the floor, and your thoughts on New Day versus League of Nations.
First off, that entrance. Coming out in a big box of bootios.
Bootios.
And oh my god. Let me say this for the record, and I might get sniped on the internet for saying this, but I hate Dragon Ball Z. I think
What?
it's the worst. I think it's one of the worst written animes in the history of God's green earth. Let me state that for the record. I am not a fan of Dragon Ball Z in any
You wildin', bro. You wildin'.
But those outfits, I can't deny, were, oh my god, impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I would expect the New Day to do something like that and just go with something like that, because they're a team like that. It fits their motif, and the fact that the horn was done up and everything was done up. It's just too bad you couldn't get an over 9,000 blast in there somewhere to kind of finish the motif. But for the match itself, it was okay. I don't like the fact that the League of Suck won, but they got.
But it's better than the New Day winning, and you are an advocate against the New Day, and I was, you know, as well as the New Day did, and then winning me over just for tonight. It's fitting for them to have lost tonight, because the strength in numbers worked against them, because now you have a fourth guy jumping in there and causing issues for, you know, now they know what it feels like. I just wanted to interject. Go ahead.
But even then, the League of Nations got their just due, because they couldn't keep their mouth shut.
Oh, man, yeah, I agree.
Out comes a dream team of Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, and Austin, who got the biggest freaking pop in the world, which made me want to put my head through a wall.
Oh my gosh.
I don't like him either. So, but I did love the segment though.
Yeah, that was well done.
poor Xavier Woods catching a stunner after a Texas two-step, as only Austin can do.
Yeah, oh my gosh. But also seemed to have put on some belly weight or something. He looks like he's
Yeah.
still in some sort of shape, but the freaking, what's up with the belly? Stone Cold, Stone Cold,
Yeah.
you know.
It's
Yeah,
and
but the
Michael
crowd
Cole
pop was pretty damn cool, like you said.
and Michael Cole, you were commentating too hard on Stone Cold stunners.
Well,
Okay, you were trying to be JR, Michael Cole. Again, know your place. You were not JR. Know
damn.
your place.
Know your role
Know
and
your
shut your
place,
mouth.
son.
All right. So Nelson, what are your thoughts on the New Day versus the League of Nations, and then three legends popping up at the conclusion of the match?
Well, I, as of recently, like the New Day for several reasons. Sorry about that. I
Blasphemy.
don't, I don't see them as like a horrible tag team. If they wanted to take things seriously, they can. Again, the writers are accepting that, but they are a very good comedic, you know, three-man tag. They came out in a cereal box of their product, the Bootios. They came out as Saiyans, which is ironic to me because all three of them like Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
And they came out as what? Raditz, Vegeta, and Nappa. And, they fought the League of Nations, which was, I kind of felt a little bit disappointed because, again, there was a lot of interfering going on, with King Barrett and everyone else. So the match just made it seem like, oh, okay, they lost when they was just winning over the crowd and their babyface.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you have, like their little statements like, oh, we're like the best team, what, no 3-man, whatever could beat us, blah, blah, blah. Lo and behold, Shawn Foley and Stone Cold comes out. I was flipping my shit because I was like, Shawn Michaels and Mick Foley, okay. I could expect this, I could see it happening, but not Austin. Not expect that man to come out. I'm a huge Austin fan.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came out, it was like it was over. And then they came in the ring and started fighting.
Yeah.
That blew my fucking mind. Tim Music, Mr. Sacco, and them.
Oh man, that was great.
Into the stunner. And then of course Xavier Woods had to take the blow because
But he sold it well though. He sold it really good. You have to admit.
Of course, and just to throw like a little bit of of a secret announcement, we may have something in the works of up, up, down, down, but stay tuned for that.
Yes, it's all about that networking, baby. And shout out to Slinky Jim saying that Stone Cold's belly came from too many beers. Unbelievable.
And if you guys are wondering what I mean by like some networking with that, me and a friend of mine, which is also a fellow streamer, we went to Raw at the Barclays. We had made a sign that we challenged the entire New Day to a Street Fighter V match. And
I want to kick
and we tweeted to Xavier Woods and his comment, and I quote, "Just bring it."
Xavier Woods don't want it. They don't want it. Me, Nelson Shinwar, the heavy hitters are coming. Ooh.
You need a fourth man. I'm here too.
Oh man, Nelson, you're gonna put us in fire, bro.
Me and my my friend, we're gonna work it out because she was the one that came up with the idea.
Okay.
And if it works out well, we'll probably be on a future episode of Up Up Down Down. But stay tuned for that.
So like that song, I got a really big team. No, let me stop. I'm just trying to be like retarded. Anyway, okay, that got me excited. I'm like, all right, that's what's up. All right, next match in the shoot, and Nelson, we gotta follow up on that one because I want to see how good they are.
Okay.
Yeah, because we got some heavy hitters fighting up, down, down, for bragging rights. But new game in order. The next match in the shoot, Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. All I have to say, 13 suplexes. 13. John Cena ate 16. Dean Ambrose can only withstand 13. It's a damn shame that all you fake ass fucking superstar fans, not wrestling fans, are entertained by somebody doing the same move over and over again, yet they crucified Cena for 5 moves. Fuck you guys. Because you know what? I'm not a fan of Brock Lesnar. I'm not I'm a fan of the old Brock Lesnar, not this like, oh yeah, monster heel breaking streaks and all this other stuff. It's like the same move over and over and over. Change the fucking channel already. Show some variety. Show me an exploder suplex. Show me a head and arm suplex. Show me some Taz plexes or something. You know, the real suplex machine was Taz. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And at the end of the day, I think Brock is overrated. I think Dean Ambrose should have gone over in this match, but his character, they had to keep Brock looking strong. Dean Ambrose can get his ass kicked and just be like, oh, well, it's expected for him to get his ass kicked. But damn, come on. Like, they're betting too much into Brock Lesnar, and you don't know how much shelf life you got left with the guy. And I bet you Dean Ambrose would be staying with the company a heck of a fucking lot longer than Brock is. Start giving guys like Dean Ambrose a push, will you? Shit. Probably guys like Vince that don't want the little guys making it, like when you try to bury Daniel Bryan. Fuck him. Fuck those people that like, oh, the same move over and over, fucking over. Hypocrite motherfuckers. Fuck you guys. Anyway, Nelson, your thoughts?
Damn.
No, I'm fucking mad, man. I'm just.
That's a very bold statement, just gotta say. I did not like the match. Reason being because one, it was overhyped. I would have loved to see it drag out and been one of the best matches on the night, but it just wasn't doing it for me. One, Dean Ambrose was just getting manhandled as if he was within all the fucking the build-ups to the match. He, took out weapons. Brock just kept suplexing him, kept throwing him to the floor. F5 him.
Yeah, on the chair. Onto the chairs.
On the chairs. And then I was kind of scared because when Dean Ambrose was licking the barbed wire mat, I thought his tongue was going to get caught in it. And I thought he was going to cut himself. That kind of got me worried. But again, the match was overhyped. Yeah, Brock Lesnar was only doing like very little moves, probably like 2 or 3 at best. But a lot of people, like, for whatever reason, they would prefer Brock Lesnar doing less moves and him doing all like the destructive work as a heel because he has more of a, I wouldn't call it like credibility, but everyone would know him because of his
Presence is what you're looking for.
right,
Yeah.
his presence, his name, the character that he's built up, and the hype man, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is a great fucking manager.
Yeah, he's the last of a dying breed. Like Paul Bear's gone, Brother Love is gone, Jimmy Hart. You got a lot of those guys. Yeah, so I get that. But you said something that was interesting. I want to respond to that. It's his presence, right? That's still no excuse for only using one move 13 fucking times in a match. That's bullshit.
It is bullshit, but again, as what Leo Golian said, his presence is what's making his character stronger. Because look, we'll bring this up one last time. You had John Cena. Not many people liked him because he became soft and he kind of got like forced onto the crowd to a certain degree. He kept winning title after title. If he would lose it one night, he'll win it back in like the pay-per-view or the next following week.
Yeah.
People got sick of it. But Brock Lesnar, when one thing during his second return, and he was suplexing John Cena for like 13, 14 fucking times, made a name of Suplex City. And everyone's going ape shit over it because everyone likes when people get like decimated.
Yeah, they're
They love
counting.
that shit.
They're like 1, 2, 3.
They love it. So of
And
course,
oh, by the way, Dean Ambrose is still on the corner of Ass Kicked and Suplex City. Somebody go get him. I'm just saying.
but it's just weird to me how, like you mentioned, people would cheer for someone who's not really wrestling, but more or less just like flinging someone around here and there, and just like, oh yeah, I'm a big dude, I do whatever the fuck
And
I
the thing
want.
is, Brock can wrestle.
He can, but they're limiting his time on TV. They're paying him a shit ton of money to do very little work. And Paul Heyman is getting more of the buzz because again, he's a hype man. He can talk for Brock Lesnar for fucking days. He doesn't have to speak
Man,
like at
well,
all. But the match overall, just ended my portion, so Ryoko could talk. It could have been better. It was way overhyped, and that segment was way too short.
there was no way Dean Ambrose, like, realistically could have won that match.
No.
That bad booking. That's one of two matches where somebody that you just knew there was no reason to put them in these matches because they had no chance, story
Mhm.
wise, or if they freaking let it go non-sanctioned.
Mhm.
But Lyoko Lion, your thoughts?
I mean, my God, Alex, you practically said my thoughts on Brock Lesnar as a human being.
Don't get me
I
wrong. I don't
mean,
hate him. I don't hate him as
but,
a it's
but,
just I don't like that they're betting too much into this guy that I'm pretty sure not gonna give back to the company the way they gave to him.
yeah. But as for the match, it was way too short, and trust me, Tusk from Killer Instinct and even Alex from Street Fighter V have taken resident in Suplex City.
Mm.
So trust me, it's massively over, and I don't get it.
Mm.
Once again, like the Sami Zayn thing, you had a chance to strap Dean Ambrose to a rocket ship and send him into the stratosphere if you give him this win. Because the entire storyline was maybe he could, maybe he could, maybe he could. And then the night comes and he just can't. Chairs, sticks, whatever he can come up with, he just can't. Because Super Saiyan Broly is still looking for Kakarot, or he's going to destroy the planet. If you're trying to get the Shield people over, which, by the way, WWE Newsflash, you're failing miserably at it, you
Mm-hmm.
have to give Dean Ambrose a win here. It was the right logical answer. I get Brock Lesnar is supposed to be this monster, but even Goliath got slayed by a slingshot.
Or just have Dean
And
Ambrose cheat. You know what I mean? Have him kick him in the groin like
He tried
18
and
times or
failed.
something.
He tried and failed though.
What is it like after Undertaker's feud? Like Brock has balls of steel. Like you can hit him in the groin, it doesn't work anymore. Like what the
Tried
hell?
yeah,
nuts. Tried using kendo sticks. He tried using barbed wire bat. Tried using a shit ton of fucking chairs, and the man still couldn't win. That's the
yeah,
thing that throws me off.
it's like,
You
come
know they're gonna
on.
have to bring the Juggernaut in to take on Brock Lesnar, and then guess what? He'll probably beat him too.
I mean,
This is bullshit.
you,
I'm like
I
the
mean,
fuck.
the entire storyline was pro Ambrose, and you absolutely blew it because the fans were in on Ambrose. They were in on it. They were feeling it. You
Mhm.
missed the train. Just
Yeah.
like you did with Reigns. You missed the train.
And Tyler
It's
Breeze,
like,
like Tyler Breeze, they messed that up. Bray Wyatt, they messed. They have to capture the lightning in the bottle while the thunderbolt is coming down. You know, so yeah,
you missed the train, WWE, and I'm disappointed, and especially seeing that the match was just way too short for a street fight.
yeah, and I would have liked to see that street fight go to the back onto the ramp or
Yeah,
parking lot or something like
No,
before
let
I
them let them actually go. Unless you plan at Extreme Rules to have these two wrestle again in an Extreme Rules match and let them go all over the place, I am sorely disappointed in WWE in this match.
okay.
One of your main event matches, and you absolutely blew it. But thank God the next one after it was great.
Okay. Now with that, we're gonna, I guess, move on to what. Okay, I got your points on that, but Nelson, overall, what would you kind of is that the Brock versus Dean, was that a good match, average match, or below average?
oh, it was horrible. It was like a one out of like 10. It was pretty bad because again, it was a lot of built up that
Mm-hmm.
didn't really show for it. And the match, as Yoko said, you're doing a no holds barred street fight match. The match was barely 10 minutes. Like that match should have been at least 20 minutes, probably more.
Yeah.
And they could have went at it. They could have went to the back. They could have went to the fucking stands. They could have went to the announcers table. Did a little bit more wreckage there. They could have, a lot of things could have happened, but nothing came of it. It was just like Dean Ambrose was like going insane as normal, thought that
Mm-hmm.
he can do everything because he's fucking delusional, and Brock put him on his ass
Mm-hmm.
again.
You know what? Dean Ambrose reminds me of my dog Ace. He's just hitting 22 pounds, right? And he's
Mhm.
sitting there trying to fight with bull masters or pits, border collies, dogs that are 2 and 3 times larger than him. And it's like, you know what, Ace, you don't want it. Leave these things alone. Dean Ambrose picked the fight. He knew he couldn't win. Or the booking just wanted Brock on the pay per view card, and they fed Dean Ambrose to him like lamb to slaughter. You know what I mean? I think it was just fucked up. But other than that, we're gonna move on to the triple threat match for the retiring Divas title and the resurrection of the women's title. We had Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, and what's the other chick? I forget.
Becky
Becky
Lynch,
Lynch.
aka female Sheamus.
I,
He's
I'm
gonna
I'm
miss her
I'm
because she's so
tired.
bright.
I'm tired. And you know what's messed up? That like I had a brain fart, and she just still doesn't stand out. Sasha Banks coming up from NXT, and seeing some of her work, and match with Bailey that she had that should be match of the year type. I think how can I say Charlotte Flair is phenomenal. Her. I think that they could have done without doing a triple threat match with Becky Lynch.
Thank you.
I think that it should have just been Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, and those two should have throw out all the stops. Like one of the high spots where when Charlotte did that moonsault to the outside, I was like, oh my gosh, she had a perfect backflip on that one. A nice form. And in general, you had like some really technical wrestling in that particular match where you had bank statement counters and rolling through, and you had the figure four being countered, then that got countered, and then get countered into the figure eight. Things like that. I think it was great chain wrestling, great chemistry, but I think the match didn't need a third person. It could have been like, okay, Charlotte one thing, Becky Lynch. She feels like Wonder Woman being shoehorned into Batman versus Superman. But the great thing that came out of it, they got rid of this Divas title, as Nelson was saying earlier before we went on the air. It seemed a bit degrading. you know. And I'm sure that being for equality, it's like, okay, y'all not divas, y'all are women's wrestlers, women's champion. So I wanted to give Nelson the floor, then Lyoko Lion. What are your thoughts on this match?
Well, I have to say, for a WWE version and not NXT, I'm just amazed of how these three women, which are, the new revolution of the women's division, they put on a great show. I
They
mean, they
did.
put out submissions, they put out counters, they put out moves that you wouldn't see happening in the women's division at all, unless if you want to bring up like the Attitude Era with like Trish Stratus, Lita, Sable, Molly Holly, and all these
Alundra
other women,
Blaze.
Alundra Blaze, Jackie. You haven't seen this type of wrestling like ever, and it was great. I loved every minute of it. I just wish, my opinion, that Sasha Banks would have had won what she deserves to be champion. Don't get me wrong, Charlotte being champion in NXT, and then Sasha Banks being champion in NXT, and now Bailey. Well, recently she lost to Asuka, but that's for another time. And then now you should be doing the same thing. Charlotte had it for some time now. Let her relinquish the title. Give it to Sasha Banks. Let her roll with it. Then give it to Becky Lynch. Let her roll with it. And then whoever the fuck else comes. That's just my opinion. But I didn't like the outcome of the ending of the match because I
It's
wanted.
traditional flair, family flair.
Exactly. So it just makes me seem to believe, like, could she have won without the assist of her father?
Here's the thing, Nelson. What I don't like how they made Charlotte a heel after everybody she was over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you make her a heel, and just like Seth Rollins, the reason why I was so hating Seth Rollins' reign as champion was they always had him winning by the skin of his teeth, or cheating to win, and these two, Flair and Seth Rollins, don't need to cheat to win. They can win on their own merits, their own laurels, and
Well, they can, yeah.
yeah, and I hate the writers need to be beat the fuck up, pulled out of that trailer, and freaking thrown off the hell in the cellar or something.
But again,
Damn.
as what I was saying before about the Divas Revolution, you don't have that many heels no more within the women's division. But before there was a lot. Now there's not that many. No one wants to take up that role,
Well,
except
Paige is
for,
like the best heel that can be.
well, you have Paige, have Team Bad,
Hmm.
you have now Charlotte. And then there's supposed to be one more heel turn because right now Sasha Banks was considered a heel,
Yeah,
but
right.
she's neither a babyface nor heel. She's neutral. She can go to either side of a flip of a fucking switch.
And even if she turns heel, they'll still cheer for her.
Correct, because she's a good wrestler.
Uh huh.
Very good wrestler. But for my rating of this match, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5 because of
Hmm.
the fact that I just didn't like the fact that
Well, the
Ric
ending.
Flair had to interfere and hold it back. I would have had liked to see Charlotte won under her own power as
Mm.
what she used to do in NXT, but of course she did not, and it just made. Also, I didn't like the fact that Becky Lynch got like her shit kicked in yet again.
That's
So,
not funny. That's not funny, but you know.
yeah.
All right, Lyoko Lion, what are your thoughts on this match?
Bye bye, divas. Long live women's wrestling.
Yes.
That was great. Oh my lord. Even though Becky Lynch is a third wheel that should be working my stripper pole, she did her job
Unbelievable.
tremendously. But
Yes.
but let's be honest. This should have been Charlotte versus Becky Lynch one on one. Let's cut the garbage out. But these three women tore the house down
Hmm.
when they absolutely needed to redefine this women's division, they needed a match like this, and they got it. They
Mhm.
got a 30-minute match, and they tore the house down. And the biggest thing that told me this was a different match, they got entrances. Actual, legitimate entrances. They weren't just thrown out there with their music and walked to the ring. They all had their own individual style of entrance. You had Snoop
Snoop
Dogg,
Dogg, yeah.
Sasha Banks entrance. I mean, you had Charlotte with the robe and the fireworks. It felt like a legitimate championship match
Mhm.
for a legitimate championship. It
Mhm.
just felt right, except for the results. If Sasha Banks would have won that match, that arena would have
Exploded,
exploded
yeah,
off
yeah.
of its top
Mhm.
and lost its freaking mind.
That, yeah, I agree. I agree.
Uh,
So overall, I think the match, good match, bad ending, and that all it
Yeah.
tends to happen way too often with these writers. But for the sake of time, we're gonna move along. We have 4 matches left to talk about, and
May I also add just real quickly, and this is for you people to comment on the YouTube portion of it. When Snoop Dogg was singing Sasha Banks's entrance, I could possibly heard if you guys ever listened to the WWF Aggression album when he also did a music track. It sounded like he did the exact same lyrics, but just with Sasha Banks in it. I'm just saying.
uh,
I'm
dang.
just saying he has some old
Might have
shit.
gotten away with something.
All right, all right. Okay, so the next match, and while I pull this up, Kane. Well, not Kane. Why I keep calling him Kane? I'm tired. It's like late. But anyway, The Undertaker versus Shane. That's what I was trying to say. Shane McMahon. I wanted to talk quickly about the build up, the actual match, and how this storied feud has ended. Um, Without spoiling it, Lyoko Lion, I'm gonna give you the floor first. What did you think about the build up for the match itself, and we'll wait for the ending.
Build up was very solid. It felt like an Attitude Era feud, to tell you the truth. It would have fit right in with that era, which I am not a fan of. But
You didn't like the
it would
Attitude
have.
Era?
No, I think it's the era that destroyed people's expectations and destroyed true professional wrestling as we knew it. But that's a story for another day. But the build up was absolutely fantastic, especially with Vince's promos. I think Vince cut his best promos of his career in this feud, to be honest.
Uh huh.
And it felt personal. It felt important.
Mhm.
You cared about the stakes. I was even wishy-washing the result all
Yeah.
the way this morning to my predictions show because I didn't really know who was going to win this match. It felt like a great WrestleMania match. And the
Mhm.
match semi delivered it. It felt like a true Hell in a Cell match.
And to add to that, it's like you didn't want either one to lose. Like Shane
Yeah.
had noble reasons to go into the match to win. And I was pulling for him. And many of you know I am a diehard Undertaker fan, and I wanted him to lose. Just by the way that they did this, but then when they added that twist, when Vince comes out and says, "Oh, if Undertaker doesn't win, that's gonna be his last WrestleMania," I'm like, "What?" Like, oh, you don't want to see like I had it in my mind, Taker can lose this match. There's no streak to worry about, right? But that was for his career versus Shane's legacy. And the drama that created in the background is like, okay, wow, you don't want to see the dead man not go at it, and you want to see what Shane has in his sleeve to change the direction of the company. you know. But I mean, I don't know, but yeah, you get the floor again, Ali Okolai. I'm sorry.
I mean, the match was fantastic. You had just great drama throughout. Even though Undertaker was dominating most of it, it was the fact that Shane kept asking for more. He kept, it was like, not good enough, keep coming, not good enough, keep coming. And you felt bad for Shane because he had that great entrance with his kids and everything. I
Mhm.
mean, it was just a match full of drama, and you were rooting for Shane because it looked like a titanic task. It
Mhm.
felt like it. And then Undertaker just bringing his most dominant game and making you re-understand why this is his match
Mhm.
and why this match is so dangerous to be in, especially with him. It brought the danger in Hell in a Cell back,
It's a
which
career
it had
shortener.
been missing,
Yeah.
because of the pay-per-view
Mhm.
being done every year. This was a true Hell in a Cell match. It just felt that. And it felt good.
Mhm.
Although I don't like the ending, but then again, I like the ending. It was so divisive, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still feel divided even after the fact. I
Yeah.
know it's probably going to be Taker Cena next year, which that's the match I want.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
WWE, give me that match.
Mhm.
That's the match I want. I
But
can deal with an Undertaker win, but I'm ashamed that we're not going to see the future of what Shane could have brought to
yeah.
the table via maybe a brand split.
Okay. Okay. Nelson, your thoughts on the feud between Shane and the Undertaker, who reluctantly was put in this match, and being that if Taker lost, that was it for him. If Shane loses, whatever was in that black box, we're probably gonna find out about it on Raw. But there was a lot riding on this match, and it had more implications than any title match could. You know. But your thoughts, Nelson?
I was talking to both yourself and Shinwar during this match,
Yeah.
and I was actually scared for several reasons because let's be realistic. These guys are very old, not like in a similar age, but they're both old. Shane, I think last time I checked was 40 or 47 years
He's
old,
47.
and Undertaker is like in his 60s.
Mm-mm.
So,
He's 51 now.
wow, look at that, 51. It just you seen the sluggishness come out as the match progressed. There was a lot of stuff going on. Had the part where Undertaker was like flinging Shane around and throwing him into like cage and whatnot. Then Shane McMahon coming out of nowhere and doing submission holds, and then
Which was a
Undertaker going.
surprise. Like Shane was using his jujitsu against Taker, and when he was in the Hell's Gate, remember he countered it.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay.
So he kind of did a lot of impressive stuff that I would have never expected doing. But then got thrown into the cage, went through it, and then Shane started coming out of nowhere, hitting Undertaker with a toolbox and hitting him with a whole bunch of other shit. And then
That toolbox was funny.
this WrestleMania moment that he tried to recreate yet again. One, think about what you're doing, Shane. I understand you want to win this match really bad.
He
You
tried to
want to
kill
become the
himself,
new
man.
owner of Raw. But dude, you have 3 kids. You're a fucking dad. Do not kill yourself. You literally slipped off the fucking top. Undertaker saw you coming from a mile away,
Anymore.
and you fell on your neck, bro. Didn't fall on your back like you supposed to. Fell on your neck.
No, Nelson. To add to that, to make people visualize what happened to Shane, This Hell in a Cell was bigger than past Hell in a Cells. Like, it looked like it was a lot higher up, like
Mm-hmm.
vertically. So I think that was to put the asterisk on when Shane was gonna do something crazy like this. So if you thought Mick Foley falling off the Hell in a Cell was bad, Shane took that and put stank on it, because Shane went for the elbow. Taker was on the announce table and saw him, rolled out of the way, and Shane took all of it. He fell right on his shoulder blades, like in the back of his head. And you saw, like, okay, they could have had padding under it. They could have had. That's 234 pounds. Shane McMahon is the same size as me. And anybody that has met me in real life on the podcast, you don't see like my size. So me and Shane McMahon standing by one another, and you see Shane buffed up and everything. That's 200 something pounds falling at one spot of impact. Like Nelson said, you got kids to think about. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that people like Mick Foley walked away from the sport, because like, you don't want to be a vegetable at the end of the day. But everybody, and you know how they would be like, holy shit, holy shit. They were more like, what the hell just happened here? If that was a WrestleMania moment, yeah, it was, but not for the right reasons, you know. But
Exactly. It was really bad. And I was afraid because also when people rewinded the footage and they showed it, after it's over, you can even see Undertaker's eyes, like,
he's like, what the fuck?
Like, did you really almost kill yourself? Like, are you kidding me right now? And then, of course, with the closing end of the match, did win, preserves his legacy, still able to attend whenever the hell he wants to come back. And now Shane McMahon is in a weird predicament because he did not win. But again, Alex says that there's possible that something still may happen today. So I guess we'll see about that. But it was definitely one of the better matches of the night. I was just really afraid for both Undertaker and Shane because one, they're both old. They have a lot of things to care of, and Undertaker, you gotta retire, bro. Like, you're getting more sluggish, more exhausted. You could barely pick up things, and you look like you've been eating a lot of food lately. Holy shit, bro.
Nelson, shut up, yo. Just shut the hell. He kept me. Yeah, well, Taker doesn't look. No, but Taker, muscle wise, he still has his upper body, but it looks like he's probably drinking one too many beers. Like, Taker, we know you can be in better shape, like beastly, like Kane has maintained over the years. But the thing is, he looked like he had his abs, but I think it's. If you look at him, I think it's just diet, because sometimes I slip into that too. So I can't throw stones at him if I'm in a glass house. You know what I mean? So, but for the sake of time, what did you guys think of the match overall?
I thought the match overall was great, outside of the fact of Shane pretty much proving why the Attitude Era, as I said a minute ago, was the worst era of wrestling ever, because you had guys literally killing each other for these big spots, and he almost killed himself to make the Foley spot happen.
Yeah.
And I want to see that. I want to see a guy end up in a wheelchair like I am in real life, and I am not kidding. I'm a wheelchair-bound person every day of my life. I don't want to see a guy like Shane McMahon, who's got 3 kids, ending up like me. I don't want to see that. So that's why I'm against this kind of return of the Attitude Era, and that the Attitude Era was great. No, it's not great. It might be great in the moment to have matches like
entertainment.
this, but think about the wrestlers 20 years down the line when they're making their Hall of Fame speeches. Think about that. These guys are people too. And I think we have to learn a little bit of respect.
Okay, got it. So with that, I would say that this is the first time I wanted Taker to lose in a long time. You know, I just wanted Shane to. I wanted to see his vision come true in terms of maybe not quite the Attitude Era, but something where it's more free reign. There's no glass ceiling, that kind of stuff. More people to get opportunities at the title. You know what I mean? Yeah, we all know when Seth Rollins comes back, after all these people like Ziggler, Tyler Breeze, all these other folks, Ryback that should be starting to get elevated, they won't. And I was hoping that to see Shane come in and fix it. But with that, we're gonna move on to the next match, which is the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which had a shocking ending to say the least. But I'm going to let Nelson open up with that, and I'll pull up the marquee for it. So Nelson, you got the floor.
Well, I definitely enjoyed, the little placeholder match that they had, which was the Giant Battle Memorial. You had your typical wrestlers, you saw like your Tyler Breeze, you saw your what the fuck you call it, the Social Outcast, you saw Mark Henry King, Big Show, then you had some guest appearances like Tonka, despite how old he is, still pretty well.
He's still in good shape, though.
You had Diamond Dallas Page, which, once in a while he'll make his face, of course, that they're in Texas, why the fuck not to come out. The biggest guest appearance by far within that match, kind of like, who the fuck off actually? Shaquille O'Neal. It kind of threw me the fuck off. I was like, wow.
But the crowd was hyped though. The crowd was hyped, especially when he was doing the stare down with Big Show. You gotta
Oh
admit that was
yeah.
dope.
Without a doubt, that was like a pretty cool moment. They had like their little skit, and then you also saw when they both got eliminated simultaneously that they gave each other like respect and then left because they knew like it was just for show, it was just bullshit. But the match was just a typical battle royal. But the ending is what kind of shocked people because within the last year's Battle Memorial, Big Show won, and there was 2 NXT wrestlers that featured in there, and they did not come out on top. This time around, Kane was the second to last person to get eliminated, and out of nowhere, Baron Corbin eliminates Kane, becoming the winner of that Battle Royal. Which what I'm liking about this is now that NXT is getting the actual recognition, the actual acceptance that they're not to be fucked with. And now Baron Corbin, not mistaken, this is his big moment to get his push on the main roster now that he's been waiting for the last like 3 years. So he will be now joining his fellow brother Tyler Breeze and Neville, and also with Kevin Owens and so on and so forth.
Neville's still injured, right?
Yeah, Neville has a broken ankle.
Oh
He's
boy.
gonna be gone for a while.
Oh my gosh. Well, if any time to bring up somebody from NXT, that's be great. And not only that, what a way to make your damn mark. Winning the Andre the Giant Invitational. Man, that was freaking what a way to make an impact. I'm happy for Corbin getting it. And let's hope that they continue his momentum going forward. Leo Goline, what are your thoughts on the Battle Royal and the winner?
Baron Corbin needed this like a hole in the head. He has been working his tail off in NXT. I mean, working it. He lost to Austin Aries on Friday night in a good match. But for him to have this moment, it just validates everything. It's like the missed opportunity with Sami Zayn earlier in the night. They cashed it in with Baron Corbin later in the night.
Yeah.
I wish they would have both gotten over. That's the only thing that I regret. But the battle royal itself was just fun, and especially
Yeah, yeah, I
Shaq.
agree.
I mean, Shaq. Seriously, dude?
And it was funny how he eliminated Tyler Breeze with one arm, and then got back in Big Show's face, then got in Kane's face. Like, oh, what the hell? And he was taller than Kane. I was like, holy shit! Like, what the fuck? And if Shaq had like another 50 pounds on him, I think he would have been a hell of a wrestler, or better than the Great Khali. If it,
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those matches that is meant for the fun of it, meant to get people on the card, meant to be a good chill out match. Something to really chat about on the water cooler, and it most certainly paid off. And I hope this puts Baron Corbin in line for maybe the U.S. title. I'd love to see him with it.
mm,
I'd
okay.
love to see this match catapult him at least there, or at least maybe get him an NXT title shot finally where he can win.
Hmm.
Just have this match mean something later. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Okay, okay. Now, moving on to the next portion. Now, I'm going to bring up. Well, I'm going to let these guys talk about it while I lay down the foundation. But The Rock had a skit that turned into a legitimate match. And now The Rock is the holder. I think he broke the Sheamus's record for beating Daniel Bryan. What was that? 6 seconds?
Yeah, 6 seconds
Mm-hmm.
for air crawling.
Yeah, so I would have to say The Rock, he was in prime form. The Wyatts come out, they're trying to give him a hard time. He was telling Rowan that his parents are cousins, and the crowd was eating it up, having fun or whatever. The Rock was fun to watch, and he looked like he came ready to wrestle. And he did, because he had breakaway pants and all that, and he had the Brahma Bull tights, and he went to school. But there was also a shocking return in that exchange, so I'm going to let the staff talk about that while I'm pulling up the images. But you got the floor. Go ahead.
Yes, the return of the soon-to-be 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, our Lord and Savior, the Lord of Memes himself, Mr. John Cena. May not be ready for mainline competition, but can eat some Wyatts for lunch with The Rock. I,
Yes.
I mean, a wonderful, wonderful segment. I mean, put a mic in the Rock's hands, and it's like Jesus talking to you.
Mm.
Okay, it's just funny. And then that Bray Wyatt, who's also got Jesus church voice, just seeing those two go tit for tat is something that was in the back of my mind as a dream, but to actually see it happening was just a wonderful thing. And to see Rock and Cena actually getting along as a legitimate tag team and looking strong and bouncing off of each other's moves, just like the Austin moment earlier, it
Uh-huh.
felt great. It felt big. I hope Cena returns in a month and takes that title off of you know who. We'll get to that garbage here in a minute.
Uh-huh.
But great overall segment.
It had good energy. Cena making that surprise return to back up The Rock against the Wyatts. Interesting. But one thing I wanted to point out, The Rock, I love what he did. He gave Bray Wyatt props. He said, "You have a wonderful gimmick, wonderful in-ring talent. You're over." You know what I mean? He's like, "You have good things going for you," and the crowd actually responded in respect. In respect, you know. I know that Vince is force feeding sports entertainment, but the fans still and will respect in ring talent. And then they gave Bray Wyatt that respect. So then he started dissing him again. But I mean, just overall, we didn't know the Cena was coming back, and The Rock was in super shape. He just keeps looking better and better whenever he does show up to WWE. You know what I mean? But to give him a WrestleMania match on the fly like that, that was ingenious because I knew that they didn't feel their lineup was strong enough, so they had to pull something else out. You know, but I think that was an excellent segment. Nelson, your thoughts?
It was good. I don't mind The Rock coming back because he's like the biggest hype man that they have so far. As I was telling Shinwar, The Rock could literally sing and do whatever the fuck he wants, and the fans will cheer, no
He can
matter
fart
what
and they
he
can be
does.
like, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, he can fart, and they will cheer for his fart. It's crazy how much pop this guy has. But again, you had mentioned, I do respect The Rock for giving a great mentioning to Bray Wyatt. He is one of by far the best non-script wrestlers that you will in our generation. This guy
Yeah.
thinks of literal material off the top of his fucking head on the fly.
He's like
Based on the
Macho Man.
wrestlers.
He's like Randy Savage. Like he
Yep,
just went off the top of his head, like Warrior did, Hogan did. He has control over his character, and I think that's why The Rock gave him the props that he did.
exactly. And I don't mind people getting do. And again, you just give him a wrestler's name and he just goes. Like he just makes gold every fucking time he speaks. I didn't like the fact that The Rock beat,
Oh,
this
Rowan,
guy in 6 seconds. That was kind of
one
ridiculous.
rock bottom and pinned him.
I mean, it was like ding ding ding, like oh my god, for real. It would have been better, in my opinion, if he would have fought Braun Strowman. That would have been my opinion. The match would have actually took a longer
It wouldn't
time.
have been safe for The Rock because Braun Strowman's still too stiff.
Yeah, in a sense, he's still too stiff. But then, of course, the match could have, been that. All right, they're jumping the Rock, and then Cena coming out. That could have helped him, but it could have
Mhm.
went either way. And then Cena coming back, I didn't care. I didn't give two fucks about Cena coming back. I was just like, really, you're back. You get beat. Move on with the show. It was so bad, but I did like the Rock portion like itself. I like that segment really good. That was a good filler
Mhm.
before the.
All right. All right. So with that, we're gonna move on to our final match of the night. And we're bringing it home. Usually, we try to do our best to keep post pay per view podcasts to an hour and a half, but we're doing the best we can, folks. So, last but not least, Triple H versus Roman Reigns. A lot of people are not happy with the outcome, and I don't know what else to say because Triple H, your writing team needs to just be lined up and executed. And I think Lyoko Lion can agree with me when I say this. But Roman Reigns, the way that they handled his come up is the reason why they're booing him. You know, had they done things correctly, they'd have been all right. But I wanted to talk about their intros. Stephanie McMahon Lefesque. What the hell? That was freaking cool. They went and took a page out of Mad Max or some shit. And she was like up there bigging up Triple H, and she was on that platform. I mean, Triple H always has a freaking intro for WrestleMania, and this did no different. However, I wish he came out in costume, but I mean, other than that, I think that Triple H, he knew how to do what Triple H does. But I think that he was like pulling back a bit, like during the match with Roman Reigns, I saw that he got the sledgehammer, and it's like, okay, if he wanted to hit him with it, he would have. I've seen him in the past do it to Shawn Michaels, do it to Taker, do it to Edge, all these folks. But it's like, okay, I'm supposed to be the bad guy. You're supposed to beat me up so the fans can cheer for you. When it was the opposite, they were cheering for Triple H. It's just, what do you do? What do you do with this? Nelson, what are your thoughts?
Well, I honestly thought that the match could have went way better than what it did. It had a lot of its moments. You had like the moment where Roman Reigns speared Triple H through the barricade and
Yeah,
put him
yeah,
on his
yeah.
ass.
Mhm.
Um, you had like these little weird moments that Triple H did moves that again that you normally wouldn't see him doing unless if it was like his early days of wrestling. And again, not many people wanted Roman to win the title. I mean, it's been such time now that he's not ready. He's not ready to take on this much responsibility. Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets a lot of cheers for some of the fans. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna lie, he is liked by several dozen people, but there's also a lot of people is like, okay, if you would have just stood quiet, not spoken, let someone have a mouthpiece for you,
Yeah, yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
power character, you would have been great. You'd have been fine, no issues, no matter what the fuck you would have done.
But let's
And
be honest though. Brock Lesnar is not that great on the mic, and they let Paul Heyman be his mouthpiece. Why don't they give like or make Roman Reigns a Paul Heyman guy?
that was something that was mentioned previous wrestling podcast that we have done before. I don't know if the Mizzle was on for that, but we did speak about it. It would be a nice idea, but again, they're trying to make Roman like the new face of the. And in my opinion, I love Triple H's entrance. It was good. It wasn't better than the Terminator one,
No, no, not
but
by
it was
far.
it, it was still good. I did not like the Roman Reigns thing because like that shit was weak. Oh, you punch the ground and then it's supposed to be a after wave effect where it affects the whole fucking stadium and fireworks pop out. That was weak sauce. I'm sorry. John Cena had a better entrance than he did, and he didn't do nothing special. But
Okay.
again, I didn't like the outcome of the finale of the match. I would have liked Roman to lose and have Triple H carry the belt a little longer so I can see some of the effects happening for tonight's Raw show. So that would have put it into a good effect of it. But I didn't like the ending. It was like a 3 out of 5 match. Average. Wasn't good. It wasn't bad, but it could have gotten better. And the other part that I like that made my night with that match is that Stephanie got the shit kicked out of her with a spear. So that made my night.
I mean, oof. Ugh. Every time I go on this podcast, I almost feel like I have to repeat myself. But let me say this loud and clear so everyone on Twitch can understand me. Roman Reigns, you know, talent hack, you are lucky that Vince McMahon gives you a tub of ass cream and, just decides to make love to you every night. You know, talent, no voice hack. You are going to ruin the WWE Championship as we know it. Yes, you put on a good match, but even light can shine in a dog's ass every once in a while. Triple H had an awesome entrance. That authority entrance was just sick. But Roman, even you can't get entrances right. That's how much you are a no talent hack. And the fact that you are running around with my championship makes me want to throw up. If it were me, you would be shot on sight. You would not even make it to Raw. This is absolutely terrible. And the only thing you did right for me tonight is you made me right on at least one prediction. But a 4 out of 5 match, if I had to give it one. I mean, seriously.
Okay. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, my mic kind of muted for a second. All right. Sorry about that, ladies and gents. Where did we leave off? Because it just went like bloop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
So
on me.
yeah.
Well,
All right, go ahead. Oh, Nelson, you're gonna say something?
no, I was about to say Lyoko said like perspective of the match. I don't know if you wanna to add on towards it.
Okay. Well, I would say this. My take on the Triple H Roman Reigns match. I There were just some sloppy points or flat points. I think that it could have been a little more explosive, more like. I mean, they had the Superman punching him when he was trying to hit with the hammer, but I wanted more spots like that spread out. Now, I think they successfully tried to make sure that okay, we're in phase one, okay, back and forth, back and forth. Phase two, you're gonna get hit with this move and start picking up signature moves and then finishers. I wanted to see more kickouts, like Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker 1. You
Yeah.
know, you barely got that, and it's like I feel that Triple H was there just to try to get Roman Reigns over. He knows that people don't want to see him with the championship title, but yeah, what better way to like if he beats me is great. But the intro was good, cool. Roman Reigns intro, they gotta get the timing down with the pyro because it should have went off as soon as he cocked his hand and did the ground punch like Captain Commando. But it's what it is. They tried to add melodrama to the match where Roman Reigns was kayfabing that his left arm was hurt. So, I mean, I don't hate the match, but the one of the cooler things is I don't know if Leoco Lion was mentioning while my mic went out that Stephanie McMahon got speared to high hell.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she got speared into next week's Raw. So hopefully, she's doing a good writing segment over there. Um,
She got caught
no,
hard.
Roman Reigns wasn't stopping either. He's just like, oh yeah, this little winch, football tackled her behind. But
If
uh,
only that happened during the build-up, it might
yes,
have helped.
yes, I agree. But a lot of folks were so underwhelmed. They're trying to dub it as the worst main event in history. And I'm
It,
seeing those memes
it,
right now on Facebook, and it's just like that's sad.
I don't
it's,
know if
be,
it's the worst.
it's because of Roman Reigns being a no-talent hack.
Well,
It is because he is a no-talent hack that doesn't deserve to be running around with my championship at all, let alone in this company. He
yes.
had a chance 2 years ago at the Royal Rumble to get over. The WWE missed that boat.
No, it wasn't the
He
WWE. It was the universe getting mad at the whole Daniel Bryan thing. It was bad booking, and he'll never let that go because they're too used to 13 suplexes in a match. Yeah, and they're too used to just like I don't know. The more I think about it, it just irritates me. But in closing, like overall, what did you guys think of the entire pay per view? I
the
was
entire
the entire
the
pay per views.
entire pay-per-view, barring the ending, was a great night of wrestling and entertainment. But the wrestling shined through tonight. It was a true WrestleMania. Everything felt big. The stage was greatly constructed. The pyros were great. The cameos were great. The fans were involved, except for in the last match. It just felt like a WrestleMania should feel.
Okay.
So I would give it probably a 4.5 if we're doing a 5 scale, probably an 8 out of 10 if we're doing my usual 10 scale. Good night of wrestling tonight.
All right. All right. Nelson, overall, your thoughts?
Uh, I would have to say it was I'll say like a 4 out of 5. It could have been a slight bit better. There were a lot of great matches. I liked it the Divas, well, the women's championship match. I liked it the ladder match that had, of course, the Hell in a Cell match. I
Hmm.
love the comedic reliefs of the New Day. I love the cameos, Hall of Famers, Mount, the Rock skit and stuff like that. Those of that was good. And you had the little iffy little things that I wish it could have got flipped and whatnot. Well, it was like a 4 out of 5. And to end my thing, there's been a poll posted by WWE on Twitter asking if everyone, what do you think? Did you enjoy WrestleMania? Did you not? And right now, the poll is winning with a lot of people saying no, they did not enjoy it.
Mm. Okay.
Um,
Well, let's see how everything fares out on Monday Night Raw tomorrow. And with that, I am going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't super great. I think that certain talent should be better utilized, and just simple putting certain people in different types of matches would have been great. But yeah, it was above average to say the least. All right, so make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Check us out at newgamingorder.com for the latest and greatest gaming news. Um, Leoko Lion, do you want to plug your channel while we're on?
Yep. I am now at 87 subscribers. I am 13 short of 100. YouTube.com/C/ Code Equestria and the number 1. We do a wrestling show every week. Me and my two best friends called Equestrian Rumble. We'll be doing it Friday because of Super SmackDown Live Turbo HD Remix on Thursday. So make sure to check that out if you like the wrestling content or if you like my review content, whether it be video games, TV shows, or My Little Pony. Make sure to check us out and get me closer to 100 subscribers. I would really appreciate it.
Leoko Lion, tomorrow I'm gonna have a chat with you, so you hit me up tomorrow on Discord in reference to that.
All right.
All right, co-CEO, what you got for us, man? Before we sign off.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast tonight, or the wrestling portion of WrestleMania. We will be doing a lot more of these and future things. As I said, I've been doing a lot of networking. That's why you haven't seen me around as of lately, if you guys haven't noticed. And hopefully, with the new networking stuff that I've been doing for the channel and the company, we'll have more content for you guys, probably more tournaments, and probably a little bit more of hangouts with, you, the viewers. So hopefully we can make that happen soon.
Alrighty, and with that, we hit you with the hyper combo finish and a juggernaut punch to end it. So we will see you guys next time. Throughout the week, I have some makeup shows that I owe full screen and to you, the audience. So stay tuned for that. There will be Friday Night Fights this week and the podcast. There may be a podcast on Tuesday. There's some Nintendo news that I wanted to cover, so check us out, follow us, and we'll see you on our next program. Peace.